Hello and welcome to the Love Lounge podcast, your source for insight and inspiration on how to love yourself and others better. I'm your favorite bishop, Bishop Gill.
I am Coach Shanita, your certified master's expert.
And I am Coach Albie, your certified professional life coach. We are excited to have you join us for another amazing show.
Yes, we are. And as you enjoy, be sure to like, comment, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, and don't forget, you can catch our show on Spotify now, too. Go to Spotify, the Love Lounge _PDC.
Now, sit back and relax.
It's time to start the show.
The views and opinions provided by the host and guests are for educational purposes only. Information and ideas are shared in good faith based on their own personal and professional experiences. Always seek a physician or health provider for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Love Lounge. Y'all know we're here on the Love Lounge, and we are here with another great episode and another great title. Listen, y'all know we have to introduce our panel here first. And y'all know we got to go with the ladies. All right, y'all know we got Coach Anita in the house, our sex coach. What's going on, Coach Anita?
Everything is
Everything is everything. That's what's up. Looking beautiful in her purple on today.
Good.
And y'all know we got the man that keep it together. He is our director. He keep us straight. Listen, that is Coach Albie is in the house. What's going on, Coach Albie?
It's good to see you guys, man. Hello, 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 audience.
Yes, and he looking nice in his blue hat too. Coach Albie is in the house. Listen,
Appreciate
y'all.
that.
Yes, always look good. We have an amazing, amazing, amazing topic and show for you all. Listen, we're talking about vulnerability in relationship. That's what we're talking about. And we're talking about becoming a safe space for love. It's got to be safe, y'all. Got to be a safe space. So if you don't know how to provide that, I hope by the end of this podcast, you will know because we're going to try to help you out the best we can. We're going to try our very, very, very best. So let's define what vulnerability is. Vulnerability in relationships is the voluntary act of showing true, unfiltered thoughts, emotions, and fears with partners, allowing oneself to be fully seen without any mask or defense. So that's what vulnerability is. Listen, y'all, listen. When done by both parties, vulnerability builds deep emotional intimacy, fosters trust, and replaces fear of rejection. Host, so let's give your initial thoughts on this topic. Generally speaking, why is being vulnerable important? That's what we want to know. So we gonna go. Y'all know we go first with our ladies. Coach Anita, come on, tell us about it.
All right. So we can start with, what does vulnerability look like for a woman? What makes us be vulnerable? And I would start with safety, meaning I can come to you with my fears, my insecurities, my doubts, my goods, my bads, my hard yeses, my hard no's. I can come to them. I can come to you with them, and I don't feel dismissed. I don't feel judged. But I feel safe coming to you. Trust. I can trust you with this information. Meaning, when we get in an argument, a couple of days down the road, you don't throw that back up in my face. See, that's what you mean when you said this, and that. I see why. Wait a minute. I told you that. Not for you to throw it back. I have already told you that I struggle with this. So now you're going to throw it back in my face. Like, come on. So it has to be trust and consistency, meaning when I am vulnerable with you, that you show up every time. You show up. When I say show up, you're listening, not trying to fix me off the bat. Well, I think you should. If it was me, I would listen, because this is something I've already, 9 times out of 10, I've already done. It's something in my past or something that I'm dealing with. I'm trying to fix. So don't try to fix me. I need you to listen to me first before you try to fix me. Remembering things that I tell you. And its consistency. Remember them. If it's important to you, if I'm important to you, then you will remember my triggers, my fears. No, you will remember those things, and you won't throw those things in my face. You remember them. And reciprocity. Sometimes we want to hear your insecurities, your fears, your doubts.
Good.
So we will feel more comfortable sharing with you because you're sharing with me.
Yes.
We're more open with me. And also in those conversations, we want to feel valued and desired all at the same time. And can you sprinkle in a little bit of patience? Just a tad bit. Sprinkle in some patience because we're women. Hear us roar. We require I'm keeping it honest. We require some patience.
Yeah.
We require some. And I will say the struggle with women being vulnerable is because we go in the conversation expecting the answer
Mhm.
or we're not respecting, expecting how that person is going to respond. And if they don't respond the way that you want them to respond, then there is an immediate shutdown as a as an argument or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a huge problem is that expectation.
Mm.
If you don't say yes or you don't comfort me in that moment or you don't hug me in that moment where I wanted you to hug me, but instead you just nod your head, then it's a fight.
Yeah.
So that's a good start.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah, now I know we got Coach Albie over here. Coach Albie, where you at?
Hey, what's up? So, yeah, I mean, I think vulnerability is important because I think loving relationships should be the place where we feel most able to be our authentic self, right? I may need to wear a mask for work, or I may need to
Yes.
put up a brave face for my associates. But in the sacred nest of our love, I should be able to lay down my walls and
Mhm.
and to simply feel or to break or to just be real. I think we all deserve to have our truths and fears met with
Some feels
compassion,
like
especially from the person we are sharing our bodies and lives with day in and day out. And I
Right.
most
think that
definitely.
that is the cornerstone of intimacy, right? Being able to trust the person I'm connected to with the real me, right? Without any kind of fear, without any kind of abandonment, without the fear of rejection, without the fear of any kind of hostility. And I think the challenge with that, the reason why we are sometimes at odds in doing that in relationships is because we are not always secure enough to handle ourselves in a way that gives space and grace to other people to freely express their truth. I think sometimes we tend to filter what our partners say or what they do or what they feel through the lens of our own insecurities. So, for example, you hear your partner say, I think she's pretty, and you automatically take that to mean, well, what does that say about me? You must think I'm ugly. Or,
Uh-huh.
yeah, or or you hear your partner say I need some time alone, and you interpret that to say, so what does that mean? You don't want to be with me no more, or who you screwing, right? So i
Right.
think i think sometimes we engage relationships not having done the complete work of learning to be secure and mature, which limits authentic engagement, if that makes sense. I think a lot of times too we suffer from a lack of emotional intelligence, right? Which makes
Mm.
speaking the truth very hard. Because if I don't feel safe to tell you how I truly feel and what I really need without the fear of your reaction, I will keep it to myself or I will give you the lie that I know you can handle.
Yep.
You don't have to
Mhm.
like it.
Yes,
You
I
don't
can
have to
imagine.
agree with it. I
Mhm.
just want you to understand where I'm coming from. And I think that takes an ability to compartmentalize one's own feelings, the ability to silence one's
Oh,
own fears within, and the grace
yeah.
to listen with your heart and not just your ears. That is why men in particular, if I could speak from the male perspective, we have a tendency of showing up performatively in love, give you the version
Mhm.
of us that we think you can
Mhm.
handle in order to keep the peace. So we'll be like, no, I didn't see her butt. I'm completely blind. They ain't see nothing.
Ah.
I ain't so.
Or
Mhm.
right, right, right. Or no, I ain't tired. I just worked 10 hours, but if you need me to come and do something, I'm gonna do it right now. But what you need? I think
Mhm.
too, we approach relationships with unfair expectations and standards of one another. You know, I've heard in times past women say, "Oh, he better come in the house with jewelry and flowers on Valentine's Day." Well, what if that brother is struggling? What if he is
Mhm.
financially kind of going through and you don't know nothing about it? Now he's afraid to tell you what he's really going through because you've got this expectation of how he should show up for you. Or, you know, I've heard it said sometimes to men, "Why you crying? Stop being a little biatch." You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Man up. But what if I'm really
Mhm.
going through something and I really just need you to hold me? You know, you will never know it because I'm not going to tell you now because I don't want to look like a punk. Because at this point, it's a pride thing, you
Right.
know.
Absolutely.
Or you knew I didn't do that kind of sex before we got married, so why are you expecting it now? I've heard that statement made before in the past. And I mean, it's almost like a brother can't change, he can't grow, he can't get bored,
Mhm.
he can't want to spice things up. And so men, we would rather lie and hide than be seen as weak, or if it means disappointing our partners, or if it means being looked at as less than a man, and if it keeps you happy. Because we don't like drama. Men, we don't like drama or anything that disrupts the three things that we love more than anything: our sex, our food, and our peace.
Mhm.
You
Oh,
know?
absolutely.
Side note,
Mhm.
by the way, this is where bromances are birthed. This is where heterosexual men form lasting emotional, non sexual bonds with other heterosexual men because that is the one place where they can speak their truth and be their true self without fear of judgment, abandonment, rejection, or any smoke. Now, with gay men, I
Mm,
think it's a bit different. Our issue with vulnerability typically stems from past trauma. We've got trust issues that we're working through, or our need to adopt a very hyper independent persona for survival purposes. Like it's rough out here in these streets. So
Mhm.
most of us grew up faking it or being this person that other people wanted us to be. So coming into a relationship and hiding our true selves, that's easy. That's a natural skill. You know, we are masters of masks. I think too that with the focus on hyper perfection with regards to body and the cutthroatness of dating, I think
mhm.
all of that kind of forces us to have a very hard outer shell, you know, that suppresses insecurities, that suppresses our desires and feelings and needs. There just aren't a lot of safe spaces that even welcome that kind of discourse. It's be perfect, be tough, or get left in the dust. That's the dating world that we live in as gay men. And so we can be very dismissive of feelings, our own and other people's. Our
Yes.
traumas, I think, make us less trusting of others. We, like all men, deal with pride, and we don't want to be rejected. We desperately want to be loved and desired. So we tend to hide a lot of our depth and a lot of our truths from people we are interested in for fear of them not accepting us, right? We don't want that to trigger any of the rejection or mirror any of that pain that we've felt so many times throughout life in our journey of being who we are, all of that which keeps us from being vulnerable in relationships. And lastly, I think it's important to call out that whether you're gay or straight or anywhere in between, men who are not given a safe space to share, to feel, to question, or to emote will go elsewhere to do it. Or they will
Yes.
go elsewhere to cope with the void of not having it at home or in their relationship. This is where cheating comes into play. And that can be emotional cheating. It can be physical cheating. Coach Shanita and I were talking about a video that we saw on Instagram where a guy had gotten off of work and he got home and he's in the parked car for like over an hour. He's just sitting there by himself, not ready to go
Right.
into his girl, just left the job. And his girl is outside, like, "What are you doing? Why don't you come inside the house? Why don't you come inside the house?" He's like, "Nah, I'm good. I need this time to physically be outside of you, outside of work, and I just need that to myself to cope with whatever's going on in life." And of course, this is also the place where sexual infidelity comes into play as well. Most men are not going to wait for you to give them a respite. They will go out and find it elsewhere. I feel like I'm giving up all of the
Mhm.
guy codes, Bishop, but this is the truth. This is the reality. And I think
Right.
this it's also important to be your partner's friend. If there's any
It's
advice
good.
that I often give to ladies that I coach, I tell them, be his friend, be his homie, be his bro boo on top of being his lady,
Right.
because allowing your partner to be vulnerable not only benefits him, baby, it's gonna benefit you. It's gonna allow you to learn him and to see him in ways that you've never been able to before because he's gonna trust you with his true self.
That's amazing. I
Yeah.
like that. I like that. Yes, Coach Abby, you just exposed all our little
I
stuff. Like,
know. I feel like I'm about to get some hate mail because I done told all the secrets. I'm sorry.
you know I'm looking, you gonna mess me up.
Sorry. I'm being vulnerable. I'm telling the truth, fellas.
You being vulnerable, amazing. I absolutely agree. And I think absolutely vulnerability in friendships is absolutely amazing. Having
Yeah.
vulnerability in friendship. And I think that is a great place to have a safe place. Someone that you trust, someone that you can let down those walls and say, hey, this is what I'm dealing with, or this is what I want to deal with, whatever the case may be. Having that safe place with friends, someone that understands, someone that accepts the authentic you.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
a lot of times we will put on for people, and especially when we're dating, when we're trying to, date someone and we really want them. Sometimes we don't really truly give them ourselves. We want to give them what we think they want
Mhm.
or what will
Right.
capture them. But many times we'll go to that friend and we can talk to that friend, and be like, listen, this is what it is. So having that safe place and that vulnerable place with that friend is very important. And it can help you make decisions that you're not quite sure of or
Yep.
situations that you're in that you're trying to get out of.
Yep.
Having that vulnerable place with friendship is amazing. And if you have friends like mine, listen, they gonna tell you the truth. But when you be involved, they gonna let you know exactly. So I think that is amazing to have that space. So you're not just thinking about things on your own. Because sometimes when you think about things on your own and alone, we can be caught up with emotions and
Yep.
feelings and what that person could do for us, not
Yep.
seeing the whole picture. And you have that friend like, hey, listen, I know you all in love, but listen, watch out. So having that space, letting that down, being vulnerable with friends or those close ones that you can talk to things about and be yourself is absolutely amazing. So you
Yeah.
got to be vulnerable with that. All right. So listen, y'all, we're gonna talk about the key aspects of vulnerability. Key aspects. So y'all make sure y'all got your list because y'all know where we going. We going with our coach, Shanita, and she gonna bring us with that emotional honesty. That's one of the key
Ooh.
aspects. Come on, Coach Anita, tell us about it.
Like you said, number one, emotional honesty, me transparent. I'm going to be transparent. I struggle with being vulnerable. This is a very, and Albie will tell you, this is a very, very hard thing for me. And I'm trying to be relatable to especially women that's listening, because a lot of women go through this. But
Yeah.
when you're raised around strong women, and you're raised to don't cry. You hear the words don't cry,
Mhm.
suck it up, you strong, you can do it. It ain't gonna break you. Don't let it break you.
Yeah.
And those words, they become rooted in you. So being vulnerable, and then on top of that, let me share even further. I was a single mom, so
Mm.
I did it all. I was my daughter's everything. So you have to be a different type of woman to do that. Being vulnerable to me, and I'm still working through this, but being vulnerable to me meant weakness.
Mm.
Mm.
Being crying, saying that it's too hard, or I can't do it, or I need a hug, I need someone to talk to. All of that in my mind, what I hear is, you're weak.
Well.
Mm.
Suck it up, girl. You got this. So going back to honesty, it's a hard task, but being with someone where you can really tell your truth to, where you can say, look, this is my past, this is where I came from, this is why I am the way I am, and go from there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because the only way you're going to break it is if you are honest. If you
Yes.
continue to pretend like you're superwoman, that's how people are going to treat you,
Mm.
like you're
Yes.
super. And that has been my reality. It's because I've showed up as superwoman. So now people treat me as superwoman, as if I don't need, as if I
Yes.
have to give all the time. But the reality is, and I am trying not to cry right now.
Mm.
The
It's okay.
reality is that I do hurt, I am sad, I am those things. I need help. I need someone to hold me up sometime. I need someone to hold me. I need someone to lead me. I can't do it all. So just showing up and being honest with your person, that's the first stop. And again, I've said this over and over again. If those are things that you cannot do with your person, then maybe you need to discover somewhere else.
So
I like that.
that's so
I
good.
absolutely like that. That's
Yeah.
amazing. I like that. And I was sitting here and I'm gonna ask Coach Albie, but I know our topic is vulnerability in relationships, but I was sitting here thinking about so many times, and not just a romantic relationship, some of our family relationships. As you
Mhm,
was talking, Shanita, so many of our families see us so strong, they see us, when we show like, why you ain't got that strength? We need you. We need to pull on you. And the moment, like, you show like, I don't have that. Well, what's wrong with you? Like, you ain't better than that. Like you said, you're weak. And, it's not just a relationship. We deal with that sometimes on our jobs. So it stops us
mhm,
from being vulnerable to the people that are around us because like Shanice said, like, I'm about to cry. Like, I have needs. Like, I'm a human. And
Right.
it
mhm,
stops us from being vulnerable with people. So I honestly understand. I completely understand.
I love the fact that you brought the fact out of a lot of times we are not able to be vulnerable, not by choice. You
Yes.
mhm,
don't wake up saying, I'm going to be a tough ass today, or I'm going to just, it, it is life happening to us. It
Yes.
is having
mhm,
to take on roles and responsibilities, sometimes by yourself.
Yes.
And I understand what you're saying there, Coach Shanita, because I
Mm.
think, for me, and just relating to what you've said, it's the number of fights that I've had to fight being not only gay, but being a gay father. And
mhm,
having people not like that and people trying to come in the relationship between me and my kids and having to fight in the courts and having to so I built up this really tough thing. And sometimes it's not until someone says to you, hey, it's okay not to have it all together. I see that you're hurting,
Yeah.
but you realize, oh my God, I am hurting, or I am too
mhm,
tough, or I need some help. Once you get into that pocket of just surviving and pushing and taking care of these kids and that situation and being this for the family, you do kind of forget that, you're not Superman, you're not Superwoman. So I'm
Absolutely.
just glad that you made the connection there, because I think sometimes we forget that. We forget that it's not a
Mhm.
choice not to be vulnerable sometimes. It's just how we've been programmed because life be life. Yeah,
Okay.
that was
So
good.
so Coach Abby, we moving on to your part because we don't need you doing that life coach stuff right now. Cause me and Shanita
No,
already said we about to cry. So don't start that. I'm over here, I got my towel. I'm like, come on
so
now. Don't start this life coach stuff
no, no,
now. I ain't in the mood for it.
no, 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 no.
But it is so true. Like, it is so true, and a lot of people don't realize that. And, I think one way I can kinda correlate with you, Albie, is both of you, being single parents. I've been married,
Yeah,
but being a single parent and being vulnerable in that, it's a whole lot. So, yes, that's absolutely amazing. Thank you, Coach
yeah.
Albie, for that. How much I owe you? I'm sitting on your couch today.
And send it to Coach Shindy, because she's the one that brought that up. Because I even forgot about that correlation between how we show up and the reason why we show up. Because again, we oftentimes approach the conversation of vulnerability about it just being something you could just, click on and do. But if you've been
mhm,
programmed to be really, really strong, and it's not just the single parents like us, but it's also
mhm,
the one in the family that does carry all of the weight, because they are the one that's most financially, or the one that everyone looks to in the friend circle, or the one
mhm,
that, I mean, there are many life situations that occur that fortifies us, right?
Yes.
mhm.
That toughens us up, and we forget that no, we got feelings and needs and desires too, and we need to be able to let our guards down. Thank you again for that, Coach Shanita. I think the second aspect of vulnerability, which I would like to call attention to, is that vulnerability is a conscious decision. It's a conscious choice.
Mhm.
Mm.
Being vulnerable in love relationships means, I think, being very intentional about
Yes.
being open and emotionally exposed, despite the risks, despite the pain, despite the failure, possibility of
Yeah.
failure, despite even the judgment that may come. I think being vulnerable means being proactive. I'm voluntarily acting by laying aside my mask and reaching over my own walls to share and to express my true feelings and my true needs. I think vulnerability is not about waiting on a chance to be open, but it's consistently choosing to be vulnerable. choosing to be vulnerable. Like I said, it's not a magical thing that just happens out of the blue. You have to be deliberate. It's the way
Mhm.
Yeah.
you deliberately approach every day that you wake up and every situation that you encounter. Vulnerability is choosing to say, "Hey, I love you, but this feels a little off for me. Can you give me some clarity?" Or, "Listen, I appreciate your efforts, but I need more." Or, "Babe, I don't like the way you did that. That really hurt my feelings. Can we find a better
Yes.
path forward?" Or, "I'm lost," or, "I'm confused," or, "I'm unhappy," or, "I'm battling depression right now," or, "I'm stressed out," or, "I'm not satisfied, I'm scared, and I could really use your help." And I think choosing that kind of language every day is hard because that
Mhm.
mask of pride and ego will say to you, "Don't let them see you sweat. Mm-mm.
Right.
You got this. Mm-mm."
Mhm.
Mhm.
Or that call of self-preservation will say, don't let them pass this line right here. You fine. You got
Absolutely.
this, right? Or
Mhm.
even those layers or those sheets of our past, right, that we like to stay covered up under. It'll say, stay right here. Remember what happened last time you exposed yourself? Stay under here.
Mhm.
Stay for under here, right? So
Mhm.
my advice is always to people, and like Coach said, if you are hell bent on relying on those masks or hell bent on holding to those walls and those sheets, then just stay single because love,
Mhm.
real love, I mean healthy love, successful love,
Mhm.
it's going to require the deliberate, conscious effort to be transparent about the real you.
Right.
I think real love is choosing courage over fear. If the goal is to
Yes.
build trust and to deepen intimacy, then I've got to let you in. And that is not an act of helplessness or weakness, but that's actually an act of self-love, right? That is an
Yes.
actual act of empowerment and maturity.
Mhm.
Finally, I think the beauty of choosing to be vulnerable with the right person. Let me underline right person.
Mhm.
The right person is that it gives them rather an opportunity to understand you. But watch this, it also gives them an opportunity to minister or administer love.
Mhm.
A doctor who is called or sent to help you can't heal what you keep hidden.
That's
That
true.
part.
I've got to show you where it hurts so you can touch it. I've got to point out where the bleeding is so you can apply the right pressure. I've got to remove my bandage so you can see my boo boo, so you can do that thing that you do so well to make it better. I've got to be willing to disrobe and get naked before you so you can see what's broken and what's bruised because the right one, and I don't know who needs to hear this tonight, but the
Mhm.
right one, the right person is going to be okay with the pain, is going to be okay with
Mhm.
the insecurities, is going to be okay with your fears and your past because, baby, we all got them. But if
Yes.
you keep that version of yourself hidden, then fully loving you becomes impossible because I can't heal what you don't reveal. And I can't try if all you're going to do is deny.
Right.
Now
Mhm.
you look crazy, mad at me, expecting me to love all of you when you're only
Mhm.
bringing pieces of yourself to the table.
Right.
Vulnerability is a conscious choice to bring your whole self into the relationship. Gotta
Yes.
see all of you. Give me an opportunity to touch it.
Right.
And I've got to do the same for you. I've got to be able to say, hey, this is me. I ain't got this together. This is raggedy. I don't know about
Mhm.
this. This part of my life is kind of screwed up. This is me. I mean, the wonderful thing about being vulnerable in that way, especially in dating, is that it helps weed out quickly who's really yours and who's and what's not.
So quick.
Real quick.
Yes.
Because if you can't handle the truth of me, well, then get the hell on. You won't meant for me anyway. Because what's mine, what's really mine, is going to be able to handle all of this. It's going to be able to, and I'm not leaving it up to that person to handle it. That's not what I'm saying. But they understand it, and they're going to be able to be okay with it because they're going to be vulnerable with me too, and we can minister and administer love to one another's areas. But it's a conscious decision to live that way. It's a choice.
Mhm.
Choice, conscious decision. And I think that's with everything in life. A lot of people, we blame things in life, and especially when things are not going well. And most of the time, if we really look at the root of the problem, we are upset with ourselves
Yeah.
because of
Mhm.
something that we've done or we have not done.
Yeah.
And as simple put, as Coach always said, it's a conscious decision and a conscious choice that you make
Yeah.
with vulnerability and not being vulnerable. It's a conscious choice that you have to make. And I think one of those
Mhm.
choices you have to make is you have to admit mistakes. Like you have to admit issues, problems when you're wrong. You have to do that.
That's good.
Being vulnerable in that point and in that moment, what it does is it open up yourself for improvement for one.
Yeah.
It opens your because you can't improve anything until you address the problem.
Yeah.
And I think so many times we deal with that in multiple relationships, friendships, or whatever the case may be, intimate ships. We deal with those things where we are quick to throw blame on other people or it didn't work out like that. Instead of just coming and say, hey, I made a
Mhm.
mistake. I admit that there's something that I need to work on. And becoming vulnerable in that point is, admitting that and being vulnerable in that place right there of saying, I have made a mistake,
Right.
it opens up a place of trust for
Mm.
those people that you're speaking to because that person says, okay, that they're big enough to say, I acknowledge when I'm wrong. That opens up a whole level of maturity in a relationship because you know, okay, now whenever we have issues, we're gonna know how to address things. We're gonna know how to deal with those things. So admitting when you're wrong, admitting those mistakes is one of the greatest part of vulnerability,
Uh-huh.
especially in a relationship. And I think that will cause uh, a lot of frustration, arguments, all of that. It'll cut all of that down because the
Mhm.
truth of the matter is when we argue, sometimes, and I don't know if y'all like me, sometimes I've been in places I've argued and we don't argue. I'm like, what are we arguing about? What we really, really mad about? What are we really, really mad about?
Yeah.
And sometimes getting to that vulnerable place, where I think about like, I don't even know why I'm mad. I wonder
Mhm.
do they know why we mad?
Mhm.
That is a vulnerable place to come to a person and say, why are we even mad? Why are we even at this? Was it
Right.
really that serious? So
Right.
being like that, having that vulnerable say, okay, well, whatever got us to this place, listen, maybe both of us are wrong, but I'm sorry. Let's fix it from here. So I think that that is an absolutely great place to start in vulnerability, admitting
Mhm.
where you're wrong and what you have to fix the situation.
And
I think so.
let me put this in too.
Go ahead, Coach Shadida.
I'm glad you said that because a lot of not a lot of times, but sometimes in relationships, we fight and argue because we are afraid to be vulnerable and say, I want sex. I need some. So what we do is we start arguments. Literally, we come up with something so dumb
Yes.
to start an argument so we can make up instead of bypassing all that and just saying, hey, I need you to come over here and knock it down.
Right. Yeah. Simple.
Knock it
We
down,
ain't gotta
slap
do no
it up,
makeup.
whatever.
Come on. Come on, man.
Yeah, true.
That's
That's
what
true, Coach.
But the foolishness comes in and says, "No, let's just argue instead,
yes.
call each
And
other
elevate
names
and go
and
top
whatever."
just yelling at each other. And we could be doing some other kind of yelling, but we gonna choose this way.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Like,
Yeah.
all you had to say is that you want some,
But it's hard. It's hard. And I know as a man, it's hard to admit that. So it's hard
Mhm,
to admit that I need more in the bedroom or I need more sex.
mhm,
Like I can remember I was in a relationship many, many years ago with someone and I was not happy. I was not satisfied.
mhm,
And I wanted them to do something that was even different for me. Now, if people can read between the lines, however you want to read, but
mhm,
it was so hard for me to say that. So I wrote it in a letter. I left
mhm.
notes out saying, hey, can we try this? Can we do it this way instead? Like,
Right, right, right.
because there was something about me. It was like, as a man, you to be asking for this, you shouldn't even have to ask for this. So it
Mm.
was pride. It was all pride and ego saying like, yeah, you shouldn't even have to ask for this. So, but I love the person, very much. And I really wanted more from them. And so I went about it, and then finally I was damn near putting it in a song and singing it daily. And it was hard. And so the exercise did not, that was years of begging, warning, asking. And it didn't, really manifest to anything as far as me getting that need fulfilled. But what it did do, it helped bring down my wall of feeling like
Right.
I
Mm.
was too good to ask or that I was, that I should have been getting it anyway, so you don't ask at all. Like getting past all of that ego and being humble enough to
Mhm.
say, I need this. That was the greatest win for me in that situation.
Yeah. And
I think
I'm
that's
glad you
funny.
brought that up about it being hard for men to ask, because I was on a panel with talking about women with menopause. And, our body changes.
Yeah,
Um, our libido goes down. We just don't have that desire like we used to.
yeah,
However, the man has not changed.
yes,
And we were just talking about like that communication has to come in, vulnerability has to come in. You have to share,
Uh-huh.
like, hey, babe, my body is changing. I feel this way. This hurts. So we can fix it. You
yeah,
can't just ignore the man, like, or be nasty to him, or, oh, I don't want to say that. But tell him what's going on. He doesn't know what's going on with your
yeah,
body unless you communicate it.
yeah,
He doesn't know that that sexual position hurts now, or that you want to be touched this way, or today is just not that time. Communicate it.
yeah.
Communicate it. Make it easier for him. Make it become open. That way he will get creative and find ways, because he wants to be pleased. So he's like, wait a minute. Well,
Okay, I got it.
if
Let me
this
do this.
don't
Let me
work,
pull this out. Let me get this out
right,
too. We're gonna make it work.
we gonna make it do what it do.
Yeah,
Turn into a whole doctor.
yeah. In the
If we
chiropractor,
flip it this way, then it'll be because the insert go this way. Turn the whole doctor, scientist, and everything, mathematician, all that.
Right. But you gotta share. You gotta say it.
yeah,
And I tell women, like, we just lay there in pain and frustration. Like, why? When it
yeah.
can be better, it can be done another way.
Yeah, and
That's
this
true.
and this is
I
the
agree with
person
you.
that you're, sharing life with. I just don't think there should be taboos there. Like we should be able to talk about every single thing, especially if it's something
Everything.
that you need or something that's hurting you or something you need more of me. You should be able to ask that. But
Right.
I think I like what you said, Bishop Q, even about apologizing, because apologizing does open the door and break down that wall. But I think vulnerability as a whole just breaks down walls, because as I'm
Mhm.
vulnerable, it gives you permission to be vulnerable. And as long as we stay vulnerable with one another, then we can kind of gauge how to move and how to do it right. And I know you're triggered, so let me be careful about that. Oh, I could check in with you. Hey, you good? Is this position all right? Are we good? Because we have that rapport. So I just think vulnerability is the key to a lot of our happiness in relationships. It really is.
Mhm.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you guys made me think about earlier in my marriage, instead of me being vulnerable and voicing and things like that. People say I got OCD. I really don't believe them, but you can't believe everything people say. But anyways, instead of me being vulnerable and saying this is what I'm needing or listen, I will be like, why is these spider webs right here? Do you need to clean these spider webs? I mean, it was just always something. This floor hadn't been vacuumed. It just don't make no sense. Why the kids ain't been,
Ooh.
and I'm like, you know what? I just need something. Listen, I'm not worried about that spider web because I really don't care about that. But listen, can I have some, please? So I think after I learned, like, I need to become vulnerable and just voice this, because they're not gonna catch the cue while you cleaning spider webs at 3 o'clock in the morning. They don't know why.
Nor do they
But
care at
yeah,
that moment.
having that and open. You know what?
I said, neither do they care at that
Don't care.
moment.
At all. And I'm like, this spider about to follow you. It's invisible, but can you get up?
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Ah,
absolutely. So that's absolutely amazing having that vulnerable place and
Yeah.
in expressing that. Because a lot of times we expect people to pick up on signs. And that's the thing about it. Just because you're that one person does not
mhm,
mean that that next person is the same. You maybe can
right.
pick up when that person is feeling some type of way and they're not wanting to be vulnerable, but like, what's wrong, or whatever the case would be. Everybody doesn't have that. So a lot of times one of our biggest mistakes is expecting us out of other people. That's a
That's good,
big
Bishop.
Mhm.
mistake sometimes.
That's so good.
Big mistake.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
mistake. So
That's good.
we have to
That's
think
real
about
good.
that. So listen, y'all, we gonna give y'all a few quick tips for becoming vulnerable. So if y'all have been in this room, this podcast today, and you said, that's me, I'm not vulnerable, I don't know how to talk about it, I don't know how to feel it, I don't know how to listen, we're gonna give you a few. We're gonna give you a few. So y'all know we going with her. Y'all know. Coach Liddy, you ready? Come on, hit us with.
Okay. Number one, y'all start small. Start small. Okay. So when I say that,
I was
I'm laughing.
wondering.
When I say that, okay, we've talked about this before. Know your person. Know when to approach your person. Know how to approach your person. Learn your person. Now, if it's something that you have been dealing with, I mean, something horrible that you've been dealing with from your past, that might not be at the beginning something that you just throw, just throw.
Just give
I
it.
mean, if it's something that you are still struggling hard with, and I'm not talking about like relationships that's, y'all been going for a while, but just, starter relationships, you might not just want to go in and say, my cousin's father, daddy did something, or
Yeah.
this and that. You gotta start small. Start with, you don't want to, you might want to start small. Talk about your fears. Like me, I am petrified of spiders. Start small just to see how they deal
Yes.
with
Mhm.
things that you share.
Uh-huh.
Just light things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these are my small triggers, but we don't have to go all the way back to 1917 when that happened and then trickle down the line. Cause now he think you crazy. Cause wait a minute, that happened, then that happened, and that happened. Now he's saying you got all kinds of spirits. You crazy. You need to be delivered. You going to hell? Why you do that? That's nasty. Back up. What? That
Uh-uh.
that made me itch. See, you gotta ease
Easy,
them.
slowly.
He's done it too. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm just being honest. Somebody come to me and, this down going down the line of things. I'm like, wait, I don't want to meet your mama, daddy, because wait,
This is it. This our last date. This is,
yeah,
this is it.
I'm allergic. I can't. So, yeah,
Yeah.
he's ease into it. Ease into it, okay? And embrace the discomfort. As I stated before, I struggle with vulnerability. So I I have to, in order for me to get through it, I have to embrace it. I have to embrace the discomfort. I have to go in knowing that this is not easy. This is not a simple task. But if I want change,
Yeah.
if I want to see something different, then I have to go through the process of change.
That's good.
Absolutely.
Change doesn't come easy.
Yeah.
We just have to acknowledge that. But I have to focus on the other end of things. If I do
Mhm.
this, if I decide to change, then something great can come out of this on the other end. But I can't go in like, just, I'm not going to do this. It's going to be too hard. I got to trust the process.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And either it will work or it won't. But at least I tried it. At least I did it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good, coach.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right, Coach Albie, where we at?
Well, yeah. So next couple tips. So tip number 3, how to practice vulnerability. Tip number 3 for me would be practice active listening. And I'm going to ask everyone who's listening, let me hold your hand for a quick second. Let me just put them right in here for a second. When your partner is sharing their heart, don't be frying chicken. Don't be trying to change the baby's diapers. Don't be trying to file your taxes. Don't be trying to blow dry your hair or try to, paint your toenails. Give your partner time and attention to listen attentively to what it
Yes.
is that they have to say.
Yes.
And as you're listening, listen with your heart. Respond with curiosity, respond with empathy, respond with emotional intelligence. Save the attitude. Quiet the inner child. Hold your peace. Lean in to understand, not to argue. Lean in to understand, not argue. Lean in to
Pray
understand
for us.
and not argue. Because the point here is not to counter whatever your partner is saying with, but I do that, and you should have done that, and dot, 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 dot. It's just to create a safe space for them to share. This is your
Right.
chance to show up as a loving, supportive partner. Even if you
Yes.
dislike it or don't agree with it, that's okay. It's okay. You can disagree without being disagreeable and focus
Right.
on
Yes.
identifying the best path forward. That's the whole point here. What's the best path forward? And don't let your own fears and insecurities block your ears. Whatever needs to come out of this discussion, whether you guys find a path forward or if it means you all have to go separate ways, it's going to be what's best for the both of you. So
Yes.
make that your focus. You're okay. You are safe. You're going to be okay. Give eye contact. Remove the distractions. Watch your body language and repeat back what your partner is saying so that you can confirm that you understand. 4, the next tip that I would say, make sure you express your needs. I think Bishop Q, you kind of alluded to this. Don't leave it up to your partner to assume what you want to need. They are not mind readers. Clearly communicate what your desires are. If you desire affection, if you need space, if you need clarity, if you need boundaries, say it. Say it. Remember, your feelings, your voice matter, and they deserve to be out there. Those are my 2 tips.
Right. Listen, y'all. I gotta say this here. Listen, y'all. You got to be direct. You have to be direct.
Direct,
Gotta be
yeah.
direct. Using I statements. Because, listen, I know we always think that it's always the other person
Yeah.
and that you got it all together and you the
Yes.
smartest person and you the only person in the world that
Yes.
matter. I understand. I
Preach.
know. I know it. But guess what? You're not the only human on the planet. So
That's
there are
the
other
truth.
Are
people
you
that
sure?
see things differently and feel things differently. Coach Nitty, you're not the only one. No,
We are not alone.
that's right.
They are here with us. Yeah. Yeah.
So what we have to do is we have to say, I feel. I feel like this. I feel like you're not doing this. I feel I statements. And those are very, very important because what we can do is although you feel inside, you do feel inside like, okay, this person is the issue, still say I because it could not be the exact thing that you're thinking.
Mhm.
So using I statements is
That's good advice.
absolutely amazing. All right. Now, for some of y'all, go get help. You need to get some help.
We
Come
all need
on.
You
help.
gotta get help.
God help us all.
Yes, but honestly, listen, if you feel like you're not able to be vulnerable and you're not able to address that with your significant other, and as we stated earlier, even your family, because a lot of people don't understand family need counseling, coaching, and all of those things
Mhm.
too. So seeking life coaches, therapists, counselors, or whatever the case be, or like we said, a trusted, safe place
Yeah.
a
Right.
friend or whatever the case be,
That's right.
going there, speaking with them, seeking help, saying, listen, this is what I desire. Have you been in this situation? Have you ever desired this? What are some of the ways or some steps that I can do to help me as well as my significant other or partner? So seeking help is not a bad thing to ask for help.
No.
Listen, you gonna perish for your lack of knowledge. Listen, your bedroom ain't gonna be right because you ain't got no knowledge in there. So you gotta get it right. Gotta get it. Gotta
Gotta get
get
Hey,
it
it right.
right.
Bishop Q, I think you nailed it. I think we as Black
Mhm.
people as well, again, goes back to what we're saying with Coach Nita too. Our struggles as a people have just made us really, really strong. That's kind of embedded itself even in the Black family structure, which is why we don't ask for help. Like whether we're dealing with something emotional, sexual, sometimes traumas, pains, we don't seek help. We don't ask for help, and we don't want to admit to a doctor or to a clinician or
Mhm.
psychiatrist, coach that, hey, this is where I am. But we've got to be willing to be vulnerable, even in those cases when we're asking for help from someone other than our partner. You got to be vulnerable and ask somebody for help, especially if it's something you just can't get over, like you said, in the course of the relationship. It's okay to go
Right.
outside and ask for help.
And listen, y'all, if y'all need help, y'all saw how Coach Albie was talking earlier. He had me and Shanita here about to pull out the tissue and stuff. We was like, all our life we had to fight. So if y'all need some help, y'all email Coach Albie. He gonna help you.
No, no,
Cause
no.
he was helping us. We were just, y'all saw us. Yeah.
We help one another.
So it's
Yeah, you
help one
call
another.
me and I'll tell
Absolutely.
you what my problems are, and I'll listen to you help me, and then I'll give it back to you. That's how that'll work.
Listen, after me and you get telling each other these problems, we were like, dang, you was dealing with that. Listen, we're gonna have to call Shanita to help both of us.
They're gonna look at me and say, "You a coach? Now, how the hell did that happen?"
Everybody gotta talk to somebody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So, audience. All right. So, this part of the show, me and Albie finna sit back and we're gonna let our coach Shanita come in and she finna give it to us. Listen, she finna put us in the hot seat. Come on, Coach
Ooh.
Shanita. Put us over in the
Uh-oh.
hot seat.
Hot seat, cheeks are burning, getting ready to be burnt.
Do I need an
All right.
antibiotic? Do I need an antibiotic? What is this? What's the
We're
burn?
gonna get a shot.
What's going on down here? I don't want that chair.
We're burning down
Why
now.
you burning?
You know when them seats is high, it tells. So if your something starts stinking,
Oh my
that
God.
heat gonna tell the truth.
It's gonna tell the truth. Well, let me go and be vulnerable.
Summertime coming too, so I hope folk bathing.
Oh my God.
Woo, we ain't got a lick of sense.
Hot
Okay.
seat, doubles.
All right, are y'all ready for your first question?
Okay,
Yes.
ready.
Okay. Here we go. As a man, during intimacy, Were you taught not to be vulnerable? If so, how has that affected intimacy now?
Bishop,
Who
I'll
going
let you
first?
go first. You.
You gonna go first?
Yeah,
I don't
please.
think I've really been taught not to be vulnerable. And I think being raised by a single mother helped that. And she kind of expressed different things and taught me different things. So
Mm-hmm.
I think I kind of been pretty good and it done helped me out.
Uh, So I think there were definitely expectations given to me to perform certain ways. Definitely. Like I said before, I think a lot of times we as men do show up very performatively in relationships, even when it comes to sex, coach Shanita. And I think that's whether we're with a man or a woman, there are just certain boxes that we assumed and people assumed that we should stay in. And of course, I've
Mm-hmm.
tried in the past to move outside of certain boxes in subtle ways. Sometimes it was met with reluctancy, sometimes it was met with judgment and shame. And why would you be asking for that? Why would you want that? So over time, I stopped asking for different things. I've been there. And I think
Mm-hmm.
too, I think one of my last serious relationships, like I told you about, where I really loved someone and had started asking for certain things, and it was just not a priority for them. And you know, like I said, it didn't end up me getting what I wanted essentially, but what I got was something greater, which was the comfortableness of being able to speak what I needed. And I needed to get over that. I needed to get over my pride and ego. So now that's my new starting point. You know, I put it all out there. This is who I am. This is what I like. This is what I
Mm-hmm.
want. And I'm not settling for anything less. But yes, I definitely felt that there were certain things I couldn't do. And it was kind of told that. I mean, that was kind of told to me by the people I was with. I think it's also part of our upbringing. Like Bishop, be honest. You, and I'm not talking about you now, but the early on you, there were certain things that you would not have felt comfortable going to your ex-wife and saying, I want this in the bedroom, right? Like you wouldn't have felt comfortable asking for it. Comfortable asking for it back then. Okay, never
Comfort.
mind. I forgot who I was talking to. So
Told
you,
y'all I'm a mess.
but
Listen,
hold
I
on,
was like,
wait.
listen,
But Bishop, so hold on. So there was never a situation or a relationship where you felt like you had to do it only this way, and if you wanted to deviate from it, it was going to be like it was expected that
it
you
was
stay in the box.
expected.
Like you never had that in the relationship. That's good.
I haven't as of yet.
Okay,
Or
that's
maybe I just while I was in my own world, wasn't paying no attention. I just made it my own part. I'm like, well, this was going down. I don't know.
Oh
But
God.
honestly, and I'm gonna think about Coach Al because shit, it's been a long run for me.
that's good.
I'm gonna think about it. But honestly speaking, I don't think because we pretty much have matched each other energies and I think one of the things I don't know if it was you or Coach Anita was talking about, but knowing each other before you get to there. So
Yeah.
listen, I be listen, what you like, what going on, what we doing, how we doing it, so I guess I kind of stopped. I don't know.
Well, I think I've just always been in a journey of continuing to grow and expand. So the way I started with you may not be the way that I continue with you. And if you, like Coach said, if there's not any space to be vulnerable to say, come to me and say something different, or you want something different, then I just don't say nothing. I just kind of stick in the box.
So okay, so
Okay.
let's stay there for a second. Let me ask this. Okay, we do grow and we change and evolve. So, what is the expectation? You go to your partner, like, this is what I want now. This is what I desire now. What is the expectation if your partner of 15 years, had children, raised children, whatever, have bought a beautiful home, just love each other? You're going to your partner, this is what I desire, and your partner put a hard no to it. What is the priority? And we're talking about sex. So is your sexual desire priority or what?
That's a tough one right there. I guess it depends on the
This
person. I don't know.
this seat is hot. My ass is
Burnt.
my ass is burning. This is a hot seat.
You got me right there because I don't know. It just depends. It just depends on the person. But I don't know, Shanita. I might gonna have to get what I need. That love letter taught me to ask for what I get.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but because depending on the person, I would say I would be in that place. But I don't know. I could be in totally like, okay, well, we gonna work out. We just gonna watch Family Feud and hold hands. I don't see that happening, but I don't know what's in my future. I'm,
it's been a great 15 years. It was
oh,
wonderful. I thank God for you. I think, listen,
What if you try this thing And it's horrible.
Well, I was,
And
yes. Yeah,
go ahead.
so I was joking. Okay, so here's the thing. I would approach this with no expectation. I think that's the mistake that we oftentimes make.
Mhm.
We go in expecting. The one ask that I would have of my partner is just to at least listen,
Right.
to try to understand and just give me a safe space to just say what I feel. Again, they don't have to like it, they don't have to agree with it. They don't even have to sign up for it if that's not something they want to do. It's okay, but just hear what I'm saying and understand and just give me that. That's the only ask that I have. Would I like for them to say yes? Of course, that would be great.
Yeah.
I think it really does depend on what it is. If I feel like it is something that is totally doable, like this is not one of your hard no's. This is not like what we say, blood, fecal matter.
Feces.
Like it's not like it's none of the things that you would, put in the absolutely no bucket. If it's something like that and you're just not willing to bend or help me out, then that would be problematic for me. But if if it's something like, we jumping out of a plane to do it or like something that's life threatening and it's a hard no for you, then of course the family and what we have together, that's just something I need to sit back on and say, okay, you don't really need that. And I think that's important. My needs from my wants, understanding that some things really are essential to my sexual satisfaction versus some things would just be nice to do. And I think it just depends on what it is specifically. If that makes sense. I
I'm
mean, what do
just
you well, I mean,
I'm
what do
just
you
thinking
think?
I'm just thinking like these hard no's and hard yeses. The hard no's, the hard no's. Do you feel if we have communicated our hard no's at the beginning of the relationship, do you feel we should ever deviate from that? Meaning, for example, I said I absolutely do not want to bring anyone into our bedroom. That was my hard no from the beginning. Not a soft no, but a hard no.
Hard.
Absolutely. You come down the line knowing I gave you a hard no on that. So, do you feel there's ever it should ever deviate from that?
I cannot expect you to deviate from what you don't feel comfortable deviating from. But I will say that even though I signed up for that in the beginning, I have a right to change my mind or desire something more as I grow as an individual. My obligation to you as your partner, because I love you, is to communicate when I have changed. But the expectation is not for you to change. I think that's where we put our heads together to say, okay, well, if this is something that is extremely important to you, how do we what is our path forward? You know what I'm saying? If there even is a path forward together. A lot of couples get to this point, Coach Shanita, you know this, and say,
Mhm.
okay, well, get it elsewhere. Or, okay, I know I said this was a hard no, but in light of how important it is to you and hearing that you've changed over time, I love you enough to give this a try. I mean, there's many different paths that it could take, but I think as a person who's coming to my partner, I can't have any expectation other than that you hear and try to understand. And wherever that takes us, it just takes us.
Hypothetical. This last time we're gonna move on. Hypothetical. Okay. Your person gave you what they want. I mean, they told you what they wanted. You said you're absolutely not into it, right?
I
So
said I'm not
you said it.
okay.
Yeah, you said it. So they decide to y'all have the conversation. They decide they're gonna go get what they need. They go out there, find out it is absolutely horrific out there. It was trash, whatever. They come back to you. Hey, I found out that was trash. Can we?
Coach, I mean, Bishop, I'll let you answer first because I have my answer is probably gonna is it,
So what you had said was, I told you no, and you went out there and did it, and it went back, and then you gonna come back to me.
what Bishop, but Bishop
Did I
gave,
get it right?
but Bishop gave the partner permission to go out and do it, right, Coach? Okay, yeah.
Y'all had the
I get it,
conversation
but now they want to come back to me after that was trash.
as if that was never, as if that never existed, as if that never happened.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't even know.
See? See
And
how the
then
tables turn?
I was just about to say table and turntable done flipped. They done flipped now. They done flipped.
I feel differently about this. I think if I am unwilling, if this is a relationship that I want and I love this
Uh-huh.
person very much
Mm-hmm.
and everything else is in order with us, and this is the one thing that I'm not willing to compromise, because I think that's the whole, I mean, relationship is oftentimes compromise, right? You oftentimes
That's
have to
true.
give in, give a little, take it. So if this was something that I absolutely was not willing to do, which by the way, sidebar, I would never be that person. I'm always going to be saying to myself, okay, try that. Let's go there. Again, as long as it doesn't require needles and things we've said,
Yeah.
I'm willing to give it a try for the sake of love. But let's say they went out and did it. I let them go out and do it, and they came back home. I wouldn't have a problem with that. I would say, well, as a part of your growth and your journey, you needed to go out there and figure that out. And because I truly do love you, I don't think love binds. I don't think love controls. I don't think love stifles. I don't think love limits. I think love sets us free. And I think if you are mine, then you will come back home to me and we're going to be good. But if you don't, then we were just meant to be for a particular moment in time and life goes on. I truly believe that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
like that.
Y'all not
I
going to
like
judge me with them little all rights. Now, I felt it. I felt it. I felt it, damn it. I felt it. I
There's no
felt it. No.
judgment.
No, wait a minute.
What we not gonna do out here on Beyonce's internet is play me like y'all gonna just give me.
There is no condemnation here.
None.
It's just some side eyes, but
But that's what love does. I just think if you get to a point where you like, I really want to try this, I don't want to hold you back from that. First,
I'm not going to hold you.
well, no,
and I'm going to set you free.
but first, I'm the partner to want to go do it with you. I'm like, okay, let me lean into this because I may learn something about myself. Something that I said no about initially may actually be something that I am really cool with. I got to understand what was behind my no. Was it just because I never know nobody else to do it? Was I afraid? Was it fear? Because when I actually did it, maybe I liked it. Now we're doing this together and it's brought us closer together. Or maybe it really is just a hard no and I don't want any parts of it. But I'm not going to hold you back. I would let you depending on what it is, I would let you go forth and do that. And if you came back and said, okay, I've been there, done that, I'm all right with it. I feel it again. I feel it. Cut this off. We're done with this. This one, we're done. Let it down.
No.
Sick of this crap. It's in the silence.
We was being receptive.
It's in the
It was like we
silence.
was in church. We was really
We were
receiving.
listening.
It's in the silence. And I don't appreciate it. Not from my best friend or from my brother. I'm done. Shut myself off. I'm done. Pull the plug. Pull it out the wall. I'm done.
We're just giving
I
you
will say,
space.
Abby, I'm not going to say I would not. I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking like that. But love will make you do some things, and I'll just be honest. Love will make you do some things because there's some things that I was going through before me and my wife divorced and was separated. And I'm like, before I went through that, I was like, I would never be that person. I would never do that. And then I got in, I was like, I'm that person. So I can't say in this mindset where I'm at right now, Albie, to answer Coach Anita, I don't know. I mean, but you did make some good points. You did. So we wouldn't judge you. We was receiving.
I'm done.
It was,
I'm done with y'all.
it was a good.
That was a hot question, Shanita. That was really good.
Yeah.
You got another for us?
Yeah.
2 more. You ready?
Okay.
How much hotter can the seat get? Good Lord. I need an ice pack on my cheeks.
This one is a little cool. This is
Okay.
cool. It's not
Cool.
In being vulnerable, do you feel weak or empowered now versus your past?
I definitely feel empowered. I do. And I think that came with me learning who I was more and being one with oneself. And like I said earlier, having that community, having those people that I had that safe place with. Yeah. So it has empowered me, I would say.
I think definitely empowering as well. I didn't start off that way. I was very comfortable wearing many different masks, but over time, being able to be more vulnerable, I actually do feel empowered by it. I have a very high EQ. I make it very easy for other people to be vulnerable too. I think it is a struggle sometimes, especially as you date in a very toxic dating pool. But overall, I do feel empowered to be open and honest and expressive with my feelings, particularly compared to early on in my life. So yeah.
Okay, see, that was cool.
That was. That didn't hurt.
That was cooler.
It was cooler.
It was cooler than
Yeah.
You start itching.
Not that time.
Okay. This is a 3-part question, so listen up. All right.
Okay.
Are you comfortable with your partner being vulnerable? How is your approach? And do you freeze or are you a comforter?
I definitely say I am a comforter. I am definitely that. And I absolutely love like the interaction of my partner being vulnerable. I love that, and I love the space that it brings. So yeah, I'm definitely. Did I answer all three of them? Or was it
How was
just
your
two?
approach?
My approach now with my approach, it's just it's so different. It's so different with I guess the situation or the person. I might not
It's
should
not the
say
spider
person.
webs anymore now.
Right.
That's right. That's right. It ain't Spider-Man. Anyway, but it's I guess it's more so I am free. I'm free to speak and say what I want to say. And like I said, it has nothing to do with spider webs or anything like that. My
Mhm.
approach is very upfront and honest because I need to know what we're gonna do with it. And if we ain't gonna do with it, we'll find something else to do with it. But now I'm just, that's the approach. And it's not just harsh. I'll say that it's not harsh, but it's as we've said many times, knowing what I want, not you not being able to sway that. If you're not able to give it, okay. But I am going to express and be vulnerable in that moment. So I hope I answered it.
Yes.
I crave it. I crave vulnerability. I think there's so
Mhm.
much to learn from, partner being vulnerable, me being vulnerable with them. I think it teaches you, like I said earlier, how to love better, each other better. I'm the type of person to cut off all the TVs and cut off the lights and light candles and play soft music and sit Indian style on the floor so we can just look at each other and share and be open about everything that we want to be open with. Like that's the kind of dude
Mhm.
I am. I love that. I think it's because I'm an open book, like literally and figuratively, wrote a whole book about my life. So I like that in a partner, someone who's willing to embrace their authentic self and create space for me to share, and I create space for them to share. I love it. Yeah.
Well, how do you deal with opposition?
As far as,
Those when you're being vulnerable and say they take your whatever you shared and they throw it back in your face, or they make you feel crazy for sharing it or whatever.
see, I don't think somebody can make me personally, I don't think somebody can make me feel any kind of way about the truth that I tell. That's the liberating part about being honest. You can't make me feel
Mhm.
bad with the truth that I speak. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't bother me. Now, if someone misuses it or shares it, with other people, or well, not even sharing it with other people because I wouldn't care about that, but uses it with some type of malicious intent to do harm to me or to my family or something like that, then I
Mhm.
would probably F them up on spot. I can't wait for us to do
Mhm.
the after show so I could talk like I really be wanting to talk over here. My God, I'm being so good.
In person,
I am being,
yeah.
yeah, we got to do that in person. I am so good right now. My God, I'm
I
so proud of
know.
myself.
We're all being very good.
But yeah, like I'd be, I would handle that. I would handle that person on spot in that kind of case. But you just saying it or telling other people about it, it's my truth. And if I told you, that means I ain't ashamed about it. I put it out there. So I don't think that's really opposition. I don't feel any kind of way about that.
Amazing.
See?
Bishop Q?
I don't know. I don't know because with me, I'm that person that's always going to find a way. Like I'm gonna always find a way. And my father taught me that a long time ago. In simple thing, he's like, "There's always a way." So I took that and
Mhm.
I applied that to everything in my life. So it's like any opposition, there's always a way. Like we gonna figure this out. If we really want to be with each other, I want to be with you. You want to be with me. We're going to figure this out some kind of way. So I'm that type. But
Yeah.
then again, I might flip and like, well, that's all right. I'm going down the street anyway.
I guess it depends on the day, huh?
Yeah. And maybe I misread it because if it's in a relationship, if it's somebody I'm dating and there's opposition, well then that just tells me that you're not the one for me, and I keep it moving. So
Need to
yeah,
go
if it happens,
discover.
yeah, if it happens in the act of loving or trying to find love, then I mean it's just a telltale sign that you want the one, and I need to keep it moving. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that learning. The universe telling me what it needs to tell me about you, and I just move on. But I'm
Mhm.
not ashamed by what I share because it's my truth. Yeah.
I agree. I'm like, I'm so glad we had this time together. Bye.
No,
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Coach Nita, that was it.
Shanae, that was good. Oh my
That was
God.
good, Coach Anita.
You
I'll
put us in the hot
behave.
seat.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, she did real, real,
Real
real
good,
good.
boo.
Real good,
Real
real
good.
good. So we know on our next show she will be moderating, so y'all be on the lookout for that one.
Yes. Yes, Coach
Yes,
Nita.
y'all see how she did that move.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So listen, y'all, we've come to a great part. This is where we come in. We come in to do our closing remarks and we bring all of our great wisdom and all of our experiences together to talk to you about these things. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about vulnerability in love, what you deserve in love through that vulnerability. We're going to talk about it. So y'all know who we're going to first. Y'all know. Y'all, our new moderator, Coach Anita, right
Yeah,
now.
we
Come
all
on,
those
Coach Anita, tell us about what we deserve in vulnerability.
first here we're gonna stop those lies and deceit. Okay, we're gonna
We gotta
work
get
on that.
we gotta get Bishop Q a break though. So Coach, you the next one to do that.
Speaking of, next, carrying on, Superman, Superwoman.
Mm.
You deserve to be heard. You deserve to be seen. You deserve to be loved. Don't be afraid to open up, to share those things, because in your sharing comes healing. I don't know where that came from,
Yes.
but there it is.
Ooh.
But in that sharing, those things that you have held in, that has held you captive, healing comes for sharing, from opening up your mouth and saying, I feel, I need, I deserve. I need the shot. What?
That's it.
Woo!
That was good, Coach. What's your cash app so I can send my love offering? What's your
All
cash
right.
app?
That's right.
The doors
Yes,
of the
come on.
church has
Then
opened.
I need to sow a seed into that word right there. That was good.
I just spoke to my spirit. Hallelujah.
Healing and speaking it. That was good,
Yes.
Coach.
I like that.
That was
Absolutely
good.
amazing. All right. Y'all know who we coming to. Coach Albie. Come on and preach to us. You bring the second part of the sermon.
I can't. I mean, with a word that was that powerful, like you just let the church say amen. Let's just get the benediction,
Amen.
go home and go to the Kentucky Fried Chicken. Listen, I think I would like to say that you deserve a love that allows you to be soft. And I don't care if you are male, female, anywhere in between. You deserve a soft landing when it comes to love. Someone that you can relax your shoulders with, that you can take that deep sigh with, that you don't have to be pretentious, wear no kind of mask, cover yourself up. You deserve that kind of love. And my word to you is never settle. Never settle for anything less than that.
Absolutely. Listen, when you heard it from our coaches, they told you in all its entirety. Listen, Coach Albie said, don't settle. You deserve it. You absolutely deserve that love. So I want to say to you, listen to me. Listen, you deserve to be vulnerable with yourself. Start off with that.
Oof.
Start off being vulnerable with yourself. And once you learn how to be
Good.
vulnerable with yourself, then you can help yourself to be vulnerable to someone else and they'll be able to receive that. But a lot of times we don't truly know how to be vulnerable with ourselves. So that's why we can't be honest about the vulnerability that we need. So I want to say, start off with yourself and then all the rest will take care of itself. Just start off like that.
That's good.
Listen, y'all, it's been amazing.
We
It's
did a
been
whole convention
amazing.
right now.
That was good. Yeah.
I ain't got it like y'all. I'm still learning.
That was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right there.
That's a 3-night revival right there. That was good.
3-night revival up in here. We had 3-night revival. Listen, we thank Prophetess Shanita. We got some fried chicken in the back with some ham sandwiches and some Kool-Aid. I'll go back there and get y'all some fresh meat. But listen, y'all, we've had an amazing time here in the Love Lounge. Amazing, amazing topic about being vulnerable and, having that safe place, that space of love to be vulnerable. So remember that throughout this week until we come back with another topic, which we will be back with another topic. So listen, we appreciate all of your love and your support. Don't forget to leave those comments, those likes, and those shares all across social media. And don't forget now, please do not forget, you can watch us on YouTube as well as Spotify. And notice I said watch because you can listen and watch on Spotify. So we're visual and audible on Spotify. So you're able to watch us there on all those platforms. And you can find out in many of our clips on Facebook as well as TikTok. So if you're looking for us, you definitely can find us. What y'all got to say about that, coaches?
I love it. That's awesome.
Hey,
Check us out.
meet you on the
Absolutely.
couch.
That's it.
Come on over to the couch. All right, y'all. Y'all know we got to get out of here. So until next time, listen, we love y'all. And we're going to say bye. Bye, y'all. Love y'all.